let's update you on this Jim Harbaugh situation, the Michigan cheating scandal. Now,
do we need the music or?
Sure.
Okay.
You can play the music. Oh, Michigan fan. As we told you last October when it was happening, and every Michigan fan came out of the woodwork and said that we don't know what we're talking about. You trust me, bro. Who are your sources? You tell me your sources. Well, how about the article that came out? What was it? Pete Thamel?
I believe it was. Yeah.
I believe it was. Pete Thamel had the details on the fact that during the Michigan football cheating scandal, the NCAA, the Big Ten, and the members of the Big Ten were all talking, sharing information, and that the NCAA provided a mountain of evidence, which made it possible for the Big Ten to take action against Michigan. Oh, that wasn't a misspeak, my friends. Remember we told you, and Michigan fan was like, you're full of shit, Monty. Well, it turns out we weren't. When we told you that the Big Ten was taking action against Michigan, not against Jim Harbaugh. They took action against Michigan by suspending Jim Harbaugh. What else did we tell you? Hey, the NCAA had all the evidence and they were well aware of what was going on. And when this thing went to court, the NCAA continued to communicate and continued to provide more and more evidence to Michigan and the Big Ten, which is ultimately why Michigan withdrew their action to get a preliminary injunction and a restraining order against the Big Ten. And they took their medicine because the evidence against Michigan was and is uncontrovertible, and it is overwhelming that Michigan was engaged in a significant football sign stealing cheating scandal led by Connor Stallions. And the evidence that we told you, and you guys are like, there's no evidence, Monty. Well, confirmed again, our original reporting that they had him at every stadium, sending people on video. Every member of the league had video of people in those seats. They knew, the members of the Big Ten knew what Michigan was doing. And Michigan knew that everybody else knew and continued with their efforts to sign steal and illegally send people to other stadiums across the league. And I bring this up today because, again, well, yeah, we were right. So why wouldn't we? Toot, toot, our own horn.
That's right.
Toot, 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 toot.
That's right.
Toot, toot.
I'm for real.
Toot. Anyway, the point is, I'm not one to, I am actually.
Listen to this excerpt from Big Ten Communications. As described below, the existence of the impermissible scheme is proven, while other investigatory bodies continue to develop additional evidence of the scope, extent, and individual knowledge of the scheme that may advise additional or enhanced penalties in the future. Taking immediate action is appropriate and necessary under the conference's sportsmanship policy, which is pretty much lock, stock, and barrel what we told you. They had to do it. They didn't have a choice.
And they had every right under the rules and regulations of the Big Ten to suspend Jim Harbaugh as a punishment against Michigan. And again, what did I tell you? Michigan should have at some point denied the allegations. Michigan has never denied that they were involved in a sign stealing operation. Michigan was not going to go into court and say, we didn't do it, this is outrageous. They were never going to make that argument. The only argument that they could have made was Jim Harbaugh didn't know what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
But the evidence is overwhelming.
Yeah.
From the NCAA, from the Big Ten, and from all of the members of the Big Ten, that they were physically and actively engaged, using other people to go to these venues through which they were paid in Connor Stallion's Venmo account, through an account in the cloud where they uploaded the video. The tickets were paid for in Connor Stallion's name. There's no denying it anymore. And on top of that, you have this Michigan basketball situation that is coming to the surface now. You are starting to hear the details in the reports that we told you about several weeks ago, where there is a significant scandal brewing in the Michigan basketball department. You have no choice here but to take action against Juwan Howard.
Yeah, and I think we're getting to that point where you got to start talking about Ward Manuel.
You have to.
I mean, I don't know how long, even for Michigan, and I hate saying that, but it's true. Like, even for Michigan, how long are you going to keep dealing with this nonsense?
Yeah, I don't. And if you're a Michigan fan, I don't know how you just stand by and think that this is okay. Ward Manuel is a terrible athletic director.
Yeah.
Ward Manuel has done a terrible job. He got used and hung up wet by Jim Harbaugh.
Yep.
You got humiliated by Jim Harbaugh. You're getting humiliated by Juwan Howard, who you still don't want to meet in a handshake line. It is, again, it's not even in dispute. Michigan athletics is in shambles. And yet Ward Manuel continues to have his job. And in this new era where the college football playoff is not optional, it is not optional. It is the only measure by which you will be defined a winner. And you're going to take significant sanctions thanks to a lack of oversight from Ward Manuel. And it galls me that Michigan fans will not come out and say, yeah, we cheated. Because it's not a question of, did you cheat? Yeah, you did. You got caught red-handed. It's not a question anymore. You look at the evidence the Big Ten has. You look at multiple level 1 violations against Jim Harbaugh. You look at this Matt Weiss investigation. The FBI was on your campus. And you're just, hey, we're just sailing along.
Just chilling, man.
It's wild to me that as a Michigan fan, you're essentially standing here and saying the only way we can win is to cheat. Because you couldn't beat Ohio State before that. Frankly, if we're truth-telling about your hero and savior, Jim Harbaugh, that dude couldn't win a big game before Connor Stallion showed up.
Right.
Fine Steeler guy.
The dates don't lie. Jim Harbaugh didn't win at Michigan. Connor Stallions did, in my opinion. The players did. But you want to put a statue of this guy outside the big house.
Which is wild.
And I'm telling you, Jim Harbaugh is not the guy that you put up as a hero and a light in the darkness.
He can guide us
to NCAA sanctions and a show cause order that
That's bullshit.
will likely have never seen this serious before.
Yeah.
This guy was not a hero for you. You want to go and talk about free Harbaugh. You want to go and talk about vacuum guy, your offensive line, your defensive line. I'm here for that. Those guys balled out. But at some point, Michigan fan has to keep it real about Jim Harbaugh and Ward Manuel. They're a disgrace to that university. And every day that Ward Manuel continues in a leadership position is a disgrace to that university. And every Michigan fan who's like, oh, Jim Harbaugh, you're a disgrace to that university.
Couldn't agree more, dude.
And Michigan fan, and this is the thing, maybe the coup de grace. I don't understand how you don't see that you deserve better than this. How do you not deserve better than this?
Monty, we won a natty, though. I mean, come on.
And ultimately, at the end of the day, the thing that'll be very interesting, how much did your cheating motivate those at the top of the Big Ten to achieve better? And I think it's significant.
Yeah.
I think it's significant. And I think that the very fact that a guy that's got the credentials of Ryan Day being on the hot seat in Columbus, which I believe he is, should tell you all you need to know. Because that should be the measure that you have at Michigan. Why were you going to make Jim Harbaugh the highest paid head coach in the history of college football? Let that sink in.
Because you're okay with cheating and running a dirty program.
It's just wild to me.
Yeah.
It's wild to me. I don't
Totally.
know how you, I don't know how you do that. Robert Fowler says you got to cheat to win. And Donut says asterisks for Michigan. Who cares? Who won the national championship? Michigan did. The issue was that the NCAA didn't have the balls to take the needed measures to take Jim Harbaugh out of a position of leadership for that team. And the truth is, he was inconsequential. They were undefeated in the games that he missed.
Yeah.
Jim Harbaugh, and I'll continue to say this, he did one thing very well. He developed his talent at Michigan. Jim Harbaugh is not a great tactician. Jim Harbaugh is not a great in-game coach. But he's a good developer of talent.
Yeah, and you look at how they won the game, right? I mean, they didn't win the game because they just were so much better. They won the game because they were more physical.
I just don't. Yeah, it is what it is. The eye patch. Okay, Michigan cheated. They won a national championship. Let's move on.
Okay, what do you want to move on to?
It's
though?
more than that.
Like,
it's not. See, and I like Michigan fan that you can keep saying that. You can keep saying that, but at some point it has to matter. You can't possibly sit here and believe that everybody thinks you did it straight up and wow, they're the now on paper you're probably gonna you're not taking that. We're not doing Reggie Bush.
I don't want you to take away their championship. I want you to put them in the ground for 10 years. That's what I want you to do.
That's the only answer. It's the only answer. Steve Stepanek, the cheating goes a lot higher than Jim in the Michigan program. Ward Manuel.
Which again is why I say put them in the ground for the next decade and see who the next program is that cheats. Because I guarantee you won't find one for a while.
Brandon Butler, not one that's going to use publicly available ticket accounts. Michigan fan, can you hear? That is the fat lady. She is warming up her vocals and is about to take the stage.
Yeah.
We'll see. I think Jim Harbaugh will get significant punishment. I think that.
It doesn't even bother me. I'll be honest. It doesn't bother me that Michigan won the national championship. Like, if it was somebody else other than Jim, and if they had won it straight up, I'd be like, cool. We got a different winner besides Alabama. Nice season. Cool. I have no problem. Like, I'm not even a Michigan hater. What I'm a hater of is the way Jim runs his program and the fact that it's just pervasive on campus right now. Like, you like the fact that your two most important sports are scandal ridden tells me everything I need to know about the leadership at Michigan. And at some point, whoever, I guess Santaono would be who Ward Manuel reports to. At some point, guys like Santaono need to be held accountable because it's not just a football problem.
And admittedly,
anymore.
he walked into this dumpster fire, but now he's in the position of leadership. He needs to fix it. You need to make wholesale changes in the athletics department.
But my thing with people in college athletics at that level is like, dude, like you have the power. If someone like that, if a president at a university wants to step in and say, yep, I don't really care what the Big Ten is going to do. We're suspending him. We're going to do it. We're going to get out in front of it. And then we'll deal with what the Big Ten has. Cause I'm not about to let someone cheat their way to a victory. That is everything that is wrong with collegiate athletics is cheating to get done what you need to get done. And then, that's right. Packing up the U-Haul and heading out to LA to play NFL games.
And the worst part is now Jim Harbaugh's out of your reach.
Yeah.
You're going to take all of this beatdown and you tried to make him the highest paid coach in the history of college football.
And he still said no, and he still left you out to dry. Nice.
It's embarrassing.
So
it's humiliating.
This is bigger than, hey, let's just move on with all due respect. This is the health and integrity of college football.
Yeah. Brandon. Harbaugh walked away and will not give one F what the NCAA does to him. He dropped the bomb and ran to the NFL. That's exactly what he did.
Yes.
And it's wild to me. Big Daddy Magic. Michigan should be punished. Everybody in the athletic program should be forced to go to BYU football games for the next 12 years and put Mafannies on the foot-long hot dog. Okay. I mean, that's one way you could go about it. No doubt. Dakota Tubbs, I've heard that Michigan was voted #1 public dumpster fire in the world. I heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that. Great Sark. Now Jim is coach to my supercharger, Spanos' boy. Yeah, well, and he's going to do well for 3 years. He's going to do well for 3 years. But Jim's fire burns hot. Trust me, I was there with him pretty much every day in San Francisco. I covered that team, and he just does not care about individuals. He does not care about humans. That's not who Jim Harbaugh has ever been. Kay Nurin, money has become the most important thing over everything.
Yep.
Stepanik, give Michigan the death penalty for 10 years in any championship game. Nah, they won't do that. And again, technically the death penalty doesn't exist. But I think one of the things that's so clear is most of the players that were the foundation of that team last year are gone. You're going to wind up punishing future generations of Michigan football players.
Yep.
Because what other choice do you have? Harbaugh knows he's never going back, ever. He's never going back. UW fan Jim, now that the Dogs are in the Big Ten, I think Michigan got screwed. That must be it.
Yeah.